So, today I wanted to talk about a couple of things that I've been seeing on Twitter with regards to Mortal Kombat and Tekken and some of the conversations surrounding what's been going on in Mortal Kombat. So obviously very recently we were supposed to be getting Peacemaker, and NRS had not really communicated to the community what exactly was going on because people were wondering why is this character not out yet. There was a lot of conversation going on online, and then I saw that Kombat League had been extended for 23 days, or the Kombat League countdown timer had been extended for 23 days, and Peacemaker would fall in line with that. And that was not really communicated out to the community, so no one really knew what was going on, and it looked like a lot of people online were really upset. For what I've been monitoring anyway on Twitter, so I've been seeing what's going on with the conversations, is that it seems like the community is keeping the players more informed than NRS is. There's very, very little communication online with regards to NRS letting us know exactly what's going on or anything from Warner Brothers. Now, I'm convinced at this point that Tyler Lansdowne and Ed Boon and all those guys are basically handcuffed. I cannot fathom why they would be on Twitter and ignore the amount of anger that the community is feeling, because a lot of it could be alleviated by just simply talking to people. And it looks like the community is forcing the hand of NRS now. So after NRS failed to put out an update, community obviously went apeshit online, as they should. I've told people keep on stirring up a fuss, because hopefully the fuss that we cause with Mortal Kombat 1 will push for a better Mortal Kombat 2. The way I look at things is that yes, Mortal Kombat 1 to the masses has sold extremely well, and a lot of casual players like the game. But I think that NRS genuinely wants the hardcore player base to love their game. They don't want it to be trashed online continuously, because it's only so long before the casuals catch on to what's going on. It's very much like the whole situation with The Rock right now. Casuals all over the world love The Rock. They absolutely love him, but the internet wrestling community is very upset with him. For those of you who have been keeping up to date with what's been going on SmackDown and Raw, Cody Rhodes basically got usurped from his position as the contender for Roman Reigns Championship because The Rock has come back and The Rock wanted the position, and the fans have turned on The Rock. Now, to a casual fan, like my mum for example, who loves The Rock, she doesn't really know. And even she was scrolling through Facebook the other day and she was like, why is everyone hating on The Rock? And then I told her why, and she was like, oh, why did he do that? It's not really nice of him. And I said to her, how do you feel about it? And she said, no, I don't really want him to wrestle. Like, obviously I want to see him, but he can't do that to someone. And my point in saying that is that whilst Mortal Kombat still has a very, very big casual player base, and a lot of people are not really aware of all of these problems online that the hardcore community are expressing, it is going to start to seep out. More people are going to hear about it, and I think NRS and Warner Brothers should take note of that. And so they tweeted afterwards, after it looked like their hand had been forced, to basically give us an update on when Peacemaker would be dropping. But again, it was only really after people had been causing an uproar. And it looks really bad when your community is pissing and shitting all over your game and then you tweet. These tweets should have already been planned. They should have been ahead of the game. They should have known. I'm not sure what's going on at the offices, but it's very hard for me to believe that they are being updated on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure they knew that Peacemaker was not going to make the deadline, and they should have communicated that. All they're doing right now is really drumming up the anger in the community. And as the anger continues to grow, people continue to post online and point things out about what's wrong with Mortal Kombat. And one thing that I found really funny, and one thing I've been monitoring, is I've been monitoring the YouTube and Twitch numbers for Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter, and to a lesser extent other fighting games that are maybe not as big, like Guilty Gear, which I'm going to use as an example in this. And what I wanted to do is, I didn't want this to come across as biased, so I wanted to show several screenshots from different people, and then 3 of my own, including Guilty Gear, on the numbers on Twitch for Mortal Kombat. Now, what I will say is that on YouTube, I think Mortal Kombat does a little bit better in terms of numbers, and I think that's only because Sikander streams on YouTube, and Sikander's viewer base on his live streams is very, very high. Sometimes when I go to look, it's anywhere from 500 to 1,000. I also don't really think that people are there for Mortal Kombat anymore. I think people are there for Sikander. I think Sikander's become a big enough personality that he doesn't actually need Mortal Kombat anymore to get views. I think he just loves Sub-Zero so much, that's why he's playing it. So there is a spike on YouTube because of that, and there's a few other content creators, but I think they mostly stream on Twitch. But I wanted to show you some of these numbers. So this was when Tekken 8 had just come out, so you can say there's a spike here, and people were making the argument that Tekken 8 is going to have very, very high numbers because we are literally in week 1 or week 2 at this point. And whilst I understand that sentiment, that doesn't really explain Street Fighter 6. Now, Street Fighter 6 hasn't received entirely positive press. There have been issues surrounding Street Fighter 6. There have been issues surrounding microtransactions, and people have been saying that the game is starting to grow a little bit stale. Now, having said all of that, I still think Street Fighter 6 is a very solid product. I don't think it's anywhere as good as Tekken 8, but Tekken 8 set the bar very, very high. But I still think Street Fighter 6 is good. Now, if you look at the numbers here, Tekken 8 in this screenshot has 25.6 thousand viewers on Twitch. I think that this was on day 2, so we can excuse that. But look at Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Now, the excuse that people are using with Mortal Kombat is that Mortal Kombat has only been out for 4 to 5 months, which unfortunately doesn't really stick here, because Mortal Kombat is considered to be one of the big 3. Big 3 being Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter. And if you look at the release date, Street Fighter 6 came out on the 2nd of June, and Mortal Kombat came out on the 14th of September, if I'm remembering that correctly. I believe it's 14th or 15th of September. Worldwide release might have been September 19th, because I think they did an early access. So if that logic was to be believed, Street Fighter would be in the same situation that Mortal Kombat's in, and that's obviously not the case. I do think that Tekken's viewership will dwindle over time, as all games do, Street Fighter's included. It was much higher than 12.9 at the point of release, but 12.9 is still a respectable number to just be on Twitch. That's not accounting for YouTube numbers. I think Tekken 8 will dwindle, but I do not think it will dwindle down to 222 for a major fighting game, for a product that's meant to be AAA. That is absolutely embarrassing. Now, those are just some screenshots that I pulled from Twitter. I've actually got my own screenshots here. So today I went on there to check what was going on with Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat. So I'll show you Tekken. Tekken is currently, as of this recording, 11.6 thousand. You can go on Twitch and check it for yourself. Might have gone up a little bit, might have gone down a little bit, but roughly it's over 10k. If you then go and look at Street Fighter's at 16.2 thousand. So again, came out before Mortal Kombat. Very respectful numbers. If you then go and look at Mortal Kombat, and I promise you guys, I did not Photoshop this. I couldn't believe it myself. 43 viewers. That is absolutely shambolic and embarrassing. For a game that I believe has outsold both of them, for it to have 43 viewers on Twitch is absolutely embarrassing. I went and looked at some other screenshots because I was like, okay, cool. You know, let's see what other fighting games are doing, because Tekken and Street Fighter, maybe they're the outliers. Guilty Gear, which as far as I'm aware came out before all of them, is at 60 viewers. Now, as far as I'm aware, Guilty Gear Strive, correct me if I'm wrong, people, but didn't Guilty Gear Strive come out in 2021? And we're in 2024. Now, 60 viewers is still incredibly low. Basically, nobody's watching it. But Guilty Gear, as far as I'm aware, is considered to be a bit of a niche fighting game. Of the niche fighting games, maybe it's the biggest one, but it's still quite niche in comparison to the 3 juggernauts, which are Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter. And still, having been on the market for damn near 3 years, without a fraction of the budget that Mortal Kombat had, it has 60 viewers, which is only 18 more. But still, to be that down bad and the game's only been out for 5 months, that is absolutely shocking. If you go on Twitter, FGC Daily posted these stats as well. If you look at the Mortal Kombat stats, they are just absolutely shambolic. People are not playing this game, and it's a little bit baffling to me because there's a lot of casuals now that stream on Twitch. If you go and look at FIFA, Fortnite, Call of Duty, which has a lot of crossover with Mortal Kombat because of the worldwide appeal, they're all streamers, they all play the game, and yet I don't see them streaming it. I don't see anyone streaming it. Even when I go to YouTube, again, like I said, the biggest streamers that I see playing it are like Sikander, maybe Ketchup and Mustard might be streaming every now and then, although I think that they are on Twitch a lot of the time. And you have people saying, well, you know, Mortal Kombat has been out for 4 months and Tekken has only just come out. Like, you can see Sikander's tweet here. And unfortunately, when you say that, you kind of have to look at Street Fighter, which is considered to be in the same breadth as those other games, and it's just not the case. I don't think we're going to see a drop-off, a massive drop-off from Tekken. I believe we're going to see a minor drop-off, but I think Tekken has done enough to keep people's attention. You can see Tweety here saying it was the opposite when MK came out. What's sad is in 2 to 3 months Tekken will likely normalize too when EVO or TWT aren't going on. Instead of dunking on the other game, we should probably just use brain power and getting new players to stick around. No, I actually completely stand against this. I think that we should continue to dunk on Mortal Kombat, and we should continue to let people know and let people see all the issues with this game, including glitches like this one, and that's just one of them. There's just so many that there's not enough time in the day to post. I mean, I've posted them in other videos before, but I completely disagree with Tweedy here. NRS and Warner Bros. Provided a very, very subpar product and have communicated almost zero with us, to the point where people have to say things to force their hands. I mean, you've got data miners and leakers basically posting before the Mortal Kombat team are even getting to it, and it's a bit like, guys, why does it take data miners and leakers, people who I typically would stand against? I never used to be against it. I never used to be against data miners and leakers, but as I've gotten older and as I've gotten more invested in games and anime and whatnot, data miners and leakers really do hurt the products. So I am not even for them anymore. But at this point, they're the only ones really communicating anything with regards to Mortal Kombat. So I'm not entirely sure I can be angry with them. It is on Warner Brothers and NRS to put communication out there to the players, to let us know what's going on, to provide us with a good product. We should not be using any brain power to do their dirty work for them. We should be using our brain power to let the wider population know and the masses know Mortal Kombat 1 is not a good product. Now, I've seen people in my comment section saying that Mortal Kombat 1 is a good product. There was a comment left on one of my other Mortal Kombat 1 videos, and they were saying that Mortal Kombat 1 is a good fighting game and it's a good product as a whole, and if people don't like it, they should just leave it alone. And I completely disagree with that sentiment. I think that because people are passionate about Mortal Kombat, we should want it to be the best that it's going to be. And so the point of me making these videos is because I'm a Mortal Kombat fan and I want them to be genuinely good. And even if you take the subjective part of it out, where the gameplay might be something you enjoy, because I've heard multiple people say that there was something good here, the gameplay was good, but everything around it was pretty bad. And that's really what my gripe is. I've said multiple times that they could release a game where gameplay wise I don't really like it, because I didn't really like Mortal Kombat 9 very much from a gameplay perspective. I much preferred MKX. But the product as a whole, the fact that the online barely works, the fact that there are desynced issues constantly, the fact that the store is extortionate, the fact that there's barely any offline content, the fact that if you don't have internet, the game basically doesn't work offline anyway, the fact that there are very, very few customizations options in a game that should be rife with customization, the product as a whole is pretty bad. That's not really subjective. That is kind of an objective opinion. Objectively, the online just doesn't function properly. Now, the reason I'm talking about all of that, and the reason that I brought up communication earlier, is because I went on Twitter yesterday, just having a scroll through, and I noticed that the Tekken team were posting, and they were posting quite a lot, and it came to my attention that they were posting about an incoming maintenance, and they kept us informed from beginning to end. So when this happened and I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, well, I want to get some content on my channel. So they've already told me that there's going to be maintenance. Let me go play some games, record some videos, get some content out there, so that when the maintenance does start, I don't really have to worry about putting anything up. I've already got stuff sorted out. And that communication goes a long way. There's no real communication with NRS. We don't know when things are going down. We don't know when things are getting patched. When they do get patched, they don't really tell us what got patched. We find more bugs. And on the topic of bugs and things getting patched, there have been bugs in Tekken 8. In one of my videos, I pointed out there's some annoying things that occur when you're playing online. For example, when somebody cancels out of a rematch, sometimes it gets stuck on that screen and it takes you about a minute to be able to press to return to standby. And that is a really minor thing, but it's a little bit annoying. But they tweeted out saying there's going to be maintenance, that they're going to be fixing a couple of things. They basically let us know the time. They asked for our patience. So everything was laid out. We didn't have to go asking, hey, Tekken team, what's going on? Why can't I get online? We knew the servers were going down. They told us. They've also informed us that they are tracking down illegal players. So if you guys go on the leaderboard, you can see that some people have jumped to God of Destruction and Lord of Destruction straight away. And it's obvious that they're boosting. And the Tekken team are letting us know that they are investigating this, and they're going to be sending out messages and communications for people that they suspect to be cheating, which is good because it ruins the online experience. When you come across a booster, it kind of sucks the fun out of it because you can't beat them. They're impossible to beat. They've designed it in a way where they're moving at Mach 9 and you're basically just standing still, and the match is over and you lose and they take your points. They also drop full patch notes. So anything that they changed with regards to the characters can be found in the patch notes. So full communication from the team. Maybe it's not perfect. I struggle to find fault with it, but I'm sure that somebody would find fault with it. So nothing is perfect in life. But they've told us, look, we're tracking down the cheaters. Here's when the maintenance is starting. Here's when it's ending. Here are your patch notes. So proper communication from the team to us. And on top of that, the product itself was already very, very strong. So there wasn't much for people to complain about. Here's a little video that I took from one of my favorite YouTubers. I'll put his name there because I can never really say it properly. I believe he's a Pakistani player. basically showing off one of the major changes. I think something that was really annoying people with regards to Dragunov and his pressure. And it's just like, wow, like the game's been out for less than a week. We've had multiple communications from them. They've updated us multiple times. The game wasn't perfect when it released. It had a few issues here and there, but they spoke to us. And that is the main issue that I have with NRS and Warner Bros. Right now. The product itself was appalling in my estimation and my opinion. Not only was the product appalling, but their communication was appalling. They all have phones, they all understand how social media works, they all understand how to communicate with people, and yet they choose not to. Now, I am starting to believe that Warner Brothers have literally told NRS to shut their mouths, because this isn't their first rodeo. Ed Boon usually is very, very vocal on Twitter. He's someone that's always tweeting, he's always sending out memes, he's always trolling, and if you go and look at his Twitter, he hasn't really posted much since January, and even then it was like 1 or 2 posts here and there, and they weren't even his posts, they were retweets. So I think that Warner Brothers has basically got them by the short and curlies, and they're not letting them speak. They're basically saying, yo, you're going to stay quiet. And so I tell people, do not support this game. It's going to hurt NRS's bottom line, yes, but I believe the only way we're going to get a good Mortal Kombat game is through applying more pressure and getting this message out to the wider audiences. Now, I would say if you have a brother or a sister or a cousin or a dad or an uncle or whoever that plays Mortal Kombat, you should send this video to them. Not to shamelessly self-promote, but the point is that we let more and more people know. We let more of the masses know, the same way that the masses are starting to find out about what The Rock did to Cody Rhodes. And maybe, hopefully, it will start to affect their bottom dollar. Maybe, hopefully, people will stop investing in the microtransactions. And hopefully, the casuals that play this game will be more vocal on their Twitch streams and their YouTube channels. And the point is not to just shamelessly dunk on Mortal Kombat, but it is to make them realize that they released a subpar product to us, and we want something up to the level of Tekken or Street Fighter, because Tekken and Street Fighter are both solid products. Whilst they may not be perfect, whilst people might have gripes with them, you can see that a lot of love and attention went into both of them. Can they both be improved? Of course, nothing is perfect, but there is communication, and that is one of the main things. At least on the Tekken side, we are being communicated with. We know exactly what's going on there. We know if there's maintenance, we know if there's issues. We do not know what the hell is going on with Mortal Kombat. For those of you asking me, why am I still talking about Mortal Kombat? I'm talking about it because I want Mortal Kombat to be good. I fully acknowledge Mortal Kombat 1 is finished, but the only way we're going to get a good Mortal Kombat 2 is if we continue talking about it, and hopefully our voices reach more people. I'm somewhat doubtful, but I think it's on us, right, as the community who are very upset with Mortal Kombat to speak about it. And someone said to me that it's one of the biggest disrespects that I talk about Mortal Kombat and play Tekken or Yakuza in the background. And I don't think they were saying it as a criticism. I think they were laughing about it, but it is kind of a disrespect if I'm being honest. I have to play another game, or not have to because I choose to, but I'm playing another game whilst bitching about a different one. And really, if anything, to me, that comes across as a little bit more powerful, because your game is so dog water that I'm not even going to put it on my YouTube channel to talk about or to showcase, and rather I'm just going to talk about it and talk about its issues. Maybe Warner Brothers doesn't care, but I believe the employees at NRS do care, because they spend a lot of hours and a lot of time, and however much time that Warner Brothers gave them to develop a game. And to see the people that are your hardcore base, the ones that you might go to an event and they're the ones that come up to you and go, hey, I know who you are, I know you develop Mortal Kombat. To see them ragging on your game, it must hurt their feelings. The point of my video is not to be nasty towards them, it's more to tell them, look, you've released good products before. MKX was a good product. MK11 was, it's not as bad as this, as a product as a whole. I really didn't like the gameplay, but as a product, it's not as bad as this. There is a way back for you to produce good games, and you need to know, and the only way that you're gonna know is if we put our heels on your necks, figuratively speaking. Hopefully Mortal Kombat 2 can be better. I'm going to continue monitoring the Mortal Kombat situation, because I do think it's very interesting to contrast how people are receiving Street Fighter, Tekken and Mortal Kombat, and how things are playing out on Twitter. But anyways guys, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for all the recent subscribers and the viewers. I really appreciate it. I've got more Tekken videos coming out of me playing online ranked. And if you haven't joined already, please join the Iron Fist Asylum, which is my Discord. The link is in the description below. If you guys have anything else that you want me to talk about, as always, appreciate your video suggestions, then let me know. Other than that guys, take care, have a good day, and peace.